doing what they believe is right, progressive, and inclusive. Join them as they discover the path to self and societal fulfillment while making a difference. Hosted by empowered and cool millennial Erika Mison. Together with her fellow millennials, they will be making a difference.
Good afternoon, everyone. You are now tuned in to Making a Difference. So this is a show created to inspire and motivate you for today. Again, I am your host, Erika Mison, and I'm also your online friend for today. All right. So last week, I invited three millennials just to basically check up on them, see what they're up to, and what their careers are, and how being under GCQ, how it's basically how they're doing under GCQ. So if you missed out on that episode, don't worry. We have it on our Facebook page. We have it here on Making a Difference. We also have it on V81 Radio, and we also have it on our YouTube channel, V81 Radio's YouTube channel and website. Okay, so you can check that out after this episode. So for this week's episode, if you're friends with me on Facebook, I actually shared the poster for today. And my caption was, okay, I'm going to be 5 years younger tomorrow, which is today. And that is because our guests for today, they're part of an organization called Kids for Kids. And they're part of the younger generation of the youth. So I'm really excited to get to talk to them, and I'm also excited for them to share their projects, at such a young age. It's really inspiring. I got to talk to them, of course, before the show, and they've done great projects, and they're currently still doing it. So let's not prolong this anymore. I want to introduce to you the officers of Kids for Kids. So first we have the co-founders, They're actually sisters. Their names are Bella and Tasha Tanhutko. So again, they're the co-founders of Kids for Kids. Are they here? Bella and Tasha. There we go. Hi, girls. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us.
Okay. Of course, thank you also for accepting my invitation. Okay, let me introduce your other officers as well. Next, we have Daniela Pedrosa. She is an internal strategies head. Hi, Daniela.
Hello.
Hi, Daniela. Okay, then we also have Annika Raffer. She's also an internal strategies head. Annika here. There we go. Hi, Annika. And then we have Gino Yang. I think he's the only boy for today. He is the Sustainable Strategies Head. Where's Gino? There's
Hey guys, what's up?
Hi, Gino. And of course, we have Regina Bonoan. She's also an Internal Strategies Head.
Hi.
Hi, Regina. Okay, so there you go. These are the core team members of Kids for Kids. So today we're actually full house. So I'm excited to get to talk to each one of you. So okay, let's start. So for our first segment, I wanna talk about basically the organization and the background. So maybe we could talk to Tasha, Bella, and Regina about the organization. So maybe you could give us like the story, basically. How did you come up with Kids for Kids?
Okay, so Kids for Kids began when I was 13, my sister was 15. Basically, throughout their childhood, we'd always be going to different outreaches to help out different communities when we were younger with our Lola and our mom. And then when we went to school, we wanted to, of course, like engage in more outreach work. But then, however, the ones in school were very limited. And we thought that we could kind of like help more, like our capacity to help was like bigger. So that's when me and my sister decided to start just like a mini after school extracurricular thing where we would like go out with our friends and just help out different communities. And then from there it kind of grew.
So basically, when we first started Kids for Kids, we were like a group of 5, and it was a completely set of like different people. And then from there, we kind of just invited our friends, and then it kind of grew, as what Bella was saying. So we launched it basically in 2013 with our first event called Takbo. So Takbo was a race to raise funds for UNICEF's 1,000 Days of a Child campaign. And from there, we realized that the impact of the youth was super great in terms of how they could call their friends and have fun, but at the same time give back.
Because like from the planning to like the writing the sponsorship letters to like meeting with the sponsors, it's all us doing it, like all us teenagers. We're also in high school.
Yeah.
It's really like a big experience from us, and obviously a big like learning process thing. So with that, we were able to get around 300 youth volunteers to help out with the event, as well as we were able to raise over 300,000 for UNICEF's 1,000 Days of the Child program. So that was like our first big event, and that was the launch of our organization, because we were like, wow, there's so many kids who out here willing to help if giving is something that is fun and exciting for people to do. So from there, that's when we released, okay, how about we like pull in more people in our kind of like our little team to help out more communities if this would work. So that's when we released signups, and the amount of responses was just really like overwhelming and unexpected. Like we did not really like expect like that much people who like wanted to sign up.
And then at that time, so when we realized we wanted to promise kids a better future, because all we were doing was different outreaches, we even went to G1. We painted an evacuation center. So this was the province that was first hit for Typhoon Yolanda at that time. And when we went there, we realized that we wanted to promise kids a better future. We also needed to promise them a better environment to live in. And that's when we became also country representatives of this other organization called Bye Bye Plastic Bags. So Bye Bye Plastic Bags is an organization that was founded in Bali, Indonesia. And it was also founded by 2 sisters who were the same age as me and Bella. And then when we got in touch with them, they were super happy to have us become their Philippine chapter. So when that happened, we basically started kind of moving towards as well integrating environmental awareness in our programs. And so we decided to launch this first event called Kamalayan, which means awareness. And what we basically did was we put together a 2-week art festival that basically showed people youth advocacies towards climate action. And at the time in 2016, not much people understood sustainability. There wasn't really a movement for environmentalism. And it was something that should have been talked about already at that time, since climate change is such a pressing problem. And so that kind of transitioned into many other things that we got into. It wasn't just anymore about helping kids in small outreaches. It became big fundraisers. It became involving a whole community, as well as partnering up with so many different people.
Because we wanted to make the youth realize, wanted to kind of engage them in the conversation of conservation, whether it be environmental or marine conservation. And that's when we were like, okay, we have to educate them. And so we thought art was the best kind of language as well to educate the youth on like the realities of what's going on. And then from there, we kind of saw like 1 year, I think this 2018, Siargao became like the hot spot for all the tourists. So you're like, okay, if there's an influx of tourists, there's obviously an influx of waste. And so we actually partnered up with organizations in Siargao because we wanted to learn how they were kind of managing all the abrupt overflow of waste in the tiny island. So we went there and we partnered up with these organizations, and we saw all their grassroots initiatives, whether it was like upcycling the waste, using the waste as a resource. So you're like, okay, how come the people in Manila, they don't really know about like these kind of everyday solutions that we could do with the waste? So you wanted to kind of bridge the gap between what professionals or experts or other organizations were doing and what the youth know and what the youth should learn. So that's when we, after Siargao, we decided to come up with this entire event called Habilin, which means to give someone something for safekeeping. So it's an entire convention where we invited different speakers from different marine conservation organizations and all these kind of environmental activists to talk about the realities of course, the plastic pollution here in the Philippines to the youth. So we had over 200 youth members, and that's how we kind of started this entire Habilin movement, where it was kind of education to bridge the gap between the adults and us youth.
And so from there, I guess, when we launched Habilin back in 2018, we still kind of did a lot of different things. And when we realized we were doing so many different things, we needed to figure out a way to bridge all of this together. We even ended up launching like last year this brand called Retaso, which is basically upcycling. It was an initiative to upcycle textile waste that was donated to us by different local brands. And then from all of that, basically, we were saying we were doing so many different things, but there wasn't one culminating factor. And that's when we came up with Tayo. So Tayo is basically an umbrella company that talks about sustainability. And we basically have this tagline where we want creativity and sustainability to meet so that people understand their need for positive change. So Reg can take over here and explain Tayo and like what it has been doing also.
Okay, so just to connect Tayo with everything that we've done in the past, connected to past projects. So Bella and Tasha have already mentioned and put a lot of premium on how we started with our focus really using creativity as a foundation, because we also wanted this to be a platform to help express the youth. So what we decided to do was, by getting just a bunch of our friends to do like a couple murals, and then from then on we decided like, okay, why not also get graphic artists and different kinds of artists in all kinds of fields. So we decided to branch it out and have Tayo as our mother company for all our organizations and all our initiatives. So Tayo is the one that basically upholds all of the foundations. So we have, under Tayo, we have Kid for Kids, Bye Plastic Bags, Kamalayan, Habilin, and Retaso. So what Tayo does right now is not only to overlook all of that, but then Tayo, what we do is, our main platform is Instagram. So we have different guests taking over right now, with sharing like their different passions, from like food to wellness, and what they're doing right now during quarantine and everything that they're doing to get creative. So we also use this as a platform to kind of connect everything from creativity to sustainability.
Okay, wow. I mean, I was really listening to you girls. Like, that's actually a lot already. And I'm kind of, like you said, you started this organization when you were 13 and 15 years old. And I'm so happy to hear that, it's still ongoing. So I'm actually really curious. You started at 13 and 15. I mean, I remember when I was 13 or 15, I mean, I didn't even think about all of this, So how was it? How was it like? Like, I'm super curious. Like, were you? Because knowing kids, I mean, the kids, they're still like shy at that age. You're still kind of shy, and you're just starting to go out there, and you already done so much. Meaning, you've spoken to a lot of people as well. So, how did that work for you girls?
Okay, actually, like me and my sister, we're actually very shy people. Like, contrary to popular belief, we're not really fans of like public speaking, but because we are really passionate about our advocacy, it just kind of makes us do it in a way. And also, what really helps is that gathering a team of friends who are all have like the same mindset and passion as you, so it really helps empower you to do what you continue to do. So with the team, that's what we really like we're all friends, even though we weren't really close at the start. It was really the advocacy that brought us together, and so we just decided to come together to create change, and that's what kind of continues to uplift us to continue the work.
On our team right now, we're 6, like everyone here on call, and like only 2 of them are extroverted. So at the like here so when it comes to like talking to people and everything, like we realized there's this one meeting we actually talked about like what's the difference between a hobby and a passion. And then we searched it up, and it was basically a passion is something that you're willing to share with others. So I guess that's why we are able to kind of quote unquote share this and share all of this in that sort of way, and not be so shy about it, and basically have other people as well do the same thing, because we realize that it's something that's doing good as well to other people. Because a lot of the people that ask us like questions about how we started and all these things, usually it's like, how do they begin? Like, how do they start their own? Because like, what can they really do at their age? But for us, it was more of like, if you really have the passion for it, that's what's going to take you somewhere. And what's nice is that even Reg, actually, she's been like in Kids for Kids since like day one also. Like, we're actually kabarkada. So when like the concept first happened, she was like one of the first people like I pulled in and was like, okay, there's this thing called Kids for Kids that we want to kind of help me out. And then, yeah, Reg make content also.
So it was basically just really like gathering everybody we knew. This was honestly what taught us networking, because it was really just friends of friends of friends. And that's how we gathered everybody to be a part of our organization and educate them about different advocacy. So it was nice to get everybody's different passions and everybody interested in the same advocacy to help conquer and help change something that we're all interested in. And what we decided to do was, because of all our networking and despite us being like shy and having only 2 extroverted people in our group, we were able to, everybody was able to join, and now we have over 800 members in our organization just because of people grabbing their own friends. Yeah.
That's really true. In life, I firmly believe that connections are really important. They're really gonna get you somewhere. So at least at an early age, you were able to already connect and talk to others as well. Even with the one you mentioned a while ago, bye plastic bags. So how did you get to contact the 2 sisters for bye?
Basically, we were having a Kids for Kids meeting this one time, and then we were on YouTube, and then there was a TED Talk that came out, and they basically shared their own advocacy on TEDx, and we were like, hey, this sounds so interesting. How can we bring that here? So we literally just took a chance. We emailed them, because
we found their Instagram by plastic bags, and then they had the email posted. So you're like, okay, let's just take a chance. And apparently that same year, it was very timely because they just opened this idea of sign-ups for global teams. So the Philippines was one of the first global teams of paraplastic.
And now there are over 80 countries, I think, that are involved in the movement. And it's actually, it's quite an amazing story also, plastic bags, because they started when they were, I think, 10 and 12. And successfully after 5 or 6 years, they banned plastic bags in Bali. And they completely shifted the entire government and island's perspective towards plastic. And that's what we hope to do here in the Philippines.
It's harder.
It's harder because there's so many different islands, and
and so many governments we have to deal with also.
Yeah, exactly.
So we just help in our own way in terms of spreading awareness and education, as well as our project with ASO, which upcycles textile waste.
Okay. Yeah, I mean it's about showing the others na by doing, but just by doing all of this, you're already helping out Narena. You're already helping out all of us. So good job, ladies. I wanna ask Regina. So the sisters mentioned that you were with Kids for Kids since day one, and now you are one of the heads for internal strategy. So what do you do as an internal strategies head?
So as an internal strategies head, what we do is we basically overlook all of the organizations and help with the coordination, just so that we can also help plan. Because since we mentioned earlier how we have so much going on, we have Kids for Kids, Kamalayan, Habilin, Rataso, we have Tayo Tayo. So it's a lot. So basically what I do as an internal strategies head for Kids is we overlook all the projects and across all the initiatives and organizations, make sure that they're all aligned and that they all serve the purpose of making change and everything like that, just so that more people could be part of the initiative and so that we're all aligned. But basically what we also do is just for us to stay on brand and keep true to our values of being sustainable by also incorporating creativity in what we do.
Okay, I got it. Now I see. So obviously, because your 3 internal strategies head. So yeah, you're gonna need a lot of of that.
Yeah, a lot of coordination.
Yes, exactly. All right, so thank you, girls. We're gonna go on break first. But after the break, we'll get to talk to the other half, and we'll find out more on their current projects. So we'll be right back after these few announcements.
Thank you.
See you. See you.